anybody that wants to do any spot in wrestling, you have to train for.
You know what? But you're right for the most part. I'm not saying you're not right. But what's it called? Where Vince got a lot of heat, especially during that time, is like he did a lot of things that just went against wrestling tradition. Period. I mean, like, what's it called? For one, like, if you go back to early WWF, he pissed off a lot of people because, for one, like, especially back in the 80s and earlier and stuff like that, they had territories. And Vince said, you know what? Fuck your territories. I'm invading anyone. I'm gonna take your talents and shit. What you didn't do at that time. You didn't take territories, other talents, and try to one up them.
Well, his father had to deal with all the territories.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
During that time, they all had a handshake agreement. And when Vince finally took over, Vince was like, "Yeah, fuck that. I want money, nigga.
I want to be the top dog."
And he got heat even for the longest because of the women's division, because that was it too. He brought in a lot of what's it called? Even before they started getting those names like Lita, Sable, and Trish and all them. Like, he would bring in the women's division for a little bit, for like a couple months. Then he just diss them off again and stuff like that. And he would do that a lot, where he just bring on like pretty faces. I
remember
it was rare when he brought on a female that actually had wrestling ability.
I remember back when it was like in the early 90s. I think it was like 91, 92, and Vince was trying to do another women's division. I don't know if it was. To me, it was the first time that he's ever tried anything with women. But he started pushing like Alundra Blaze, and Alundra Blaze was like his like flagship like woman's wrestler, and it seemed like it was getting real boring because you had her like going up against another woman wrestler, and it seemed like those two were the only ones going at it for the women's title, and it got boring, it got stale, but after that it just kind of faded into obscurity.
Yeah, well that's how the women's title was for the longest time.
Yeah.
In WWF. Or E.
And that's the nice thing now is they have variety.
Yeah.
There's a ton of variety now. There is,
and there's some out there that they don't have yet that they can always go to.
You got to think about it, man. Like even all the NXT women wrestlers that they have drafted in the whole draft and shit. There's still a shit ton more in NXT.
Oh yeah.
Like they're coming in drones, and each one of them are bringing something different, and they're showing themselves that, hey, I'm not just a pretty face, I can actually fucking work.
The best thing that Triple H ever did was he went out and he got Sarah Del Rey to be the trainer of the women's.
Yeah.
If you go back and look at her, she was fucking phenomenal.
On top of that, they're not doing what they did during the whole original boom, like with what the names we mentioned earlier, with like Trish. Now, Trish was a fitness model. Tori was a fitness model. There was a couple other ones who were fitness models too. And they're not doing that anymore. They're actually going out and getting women pro wrestlers instead of this pretty faces. And then teaching them the wrestle later on.
That's what
most of the women in the women division now had been wrestlers for a minute now.
Yeah, that's what pissed me off about women's wrestling in general in the EU, especially when they did the Divas division and shit. I just felt like there was such a slap in the face to women all around. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a fucking cuck right now, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to be called a cuck because I'm being defending of women wrestling. But to me, women wrestling is just as important as male wrestling. To me, it doesn't matter if you're a male or female. If you have respect for the business, if you have respect for the art, then you belong. It doesn't matter if you have a fucking penis or a vagina. It's as simple as that. If you can fucking work,
you can go.
If you can go, you're more than earned your place.
I already know what you're thinking about, man. This
is over your fucking
This is in reverse. This is all my catchphrase. Don't even know that. I know take a bump. It's in reverse. If you can take a dick, you can take a bump.
You can take a bump. You can take a dick.
Well, like I said, in this scenario, it has to go reverse.
But like especially when you got in the independents where you got such a big saturation of like ring rats, just using the pussy to get fucking anywhere in the business rather than actually busting their fucking ass, and that's a rarity with a lot of women. Males do it too, and I'm
what I was gonna say, we kind of semi-touched on that last. We just never gone into depth with it though. Well, I was gonna say not the whole male things, but you kind of have that in every line of work and stuff like that. You got and I'm just gonna strictly talk about the females. You got the females that like really are like trying to cut in and do it in a respectful manner. And then you got the other females that are like, I'm gonna You're
gonna sleep your way to the top.
Well, it's not even so much. It's like some of them are just like, yeah, like you said, this straight. I'm gonna just bang my way to the top. Then you got the other ones that are just more cutthroat, where they're like, I'm gonna do what it takes at all costs to get to the top. Well, they're probably even decent mat wrestlers, but at the same time, it's like, regardless of how much things has changed, the truth is this is still a dick game, man. And what I mean by that is it's a man's game. It's dominated by men.
Oh yeah.
Men call the shots, men.
Yeah, I mean that's never going to change. I don't think, and that's kind of an unfortunate thing. I mean, but at the same time, you're going to have your male your centerpiece male wrestling figures that are going to be like that voice where they're going to push more female athletes.
Yeah.
Whether it be MMA, whether it be kickboxing, whether it be in pro wrestling, because honestly, I feel like the women have been nothing but the women of wrestling have been a butt of a joke for a long fucking time. And that's just how I feel. I think women.
You feel like that because it's the truth, though.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, honestly, up until this modern era. Like I said, honestly, like the women's division was like, you know what, our ratings are slipping for a little bit. Let's bring in some guy candy, that way we can get the ratings back up for a minute.
Just have them fucking show a little vag crack and fucking some.
Or like you said too. You said it on one of the other podcasts. It was the piss match. All right, the women's are up.
Oh, the piss break,
the piss break. Yo, so here you go, guys.
I mean, and that's the thing. It's like I don't want to feel like. I mean, even back when I was like, when I was a supposedly know-it-all mark, because I'll admit that I was like that before I actually laced the boots up. But like I remember even before that, I mean, even after I started learning the trade, it was just like, oh god, okay, well here's the piss break match.
Well,
and I felt like I was being so disrespectful to the business, but I couldn't help it. But it wasn't because I was trying to shit on the women. But bro, I just hated how they were represented.
But bro, what's it called, like? In some sense, and you know what? I'm going to say this right now. Before I say it, I'm going to say, forgive me for anybody that I might feel disrespected right now. I'm not saying it from a disrespect. No, but I'm talking about the wrestling purists. And I'm going to say it on a real note.
I'm going to tell you right now, and this is what I'll say too.
Go ahead.
If you can't handle anyone's different opinions, then get the fuck out. That's exactly what I'm just going to say right now.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Yeah. I'm going to sit here and listen to this man's opinion. And just because he fucking doesn't agree, just because me and Sidewayzzz or even me and Buddha don't fucking agree with each other, that doesn't mean that we're gonna think we're gonna sit here and fucking argue. We gotta respect each other's opinions, just like all you viewers need to respect our opinions. But anyway, go ahead.
No, but what's it called? Like from the what I was about to say anyway, and thank you even for saying that anyway. But like at the same time, like for maybe right now, for maybe even. Potential wrestlers that are listening because you're on the show and stuff like that.
Right.
And I saw you advertise that you're going to be on the show again, on your Facebook and stuff. So, like, when I say this, I'm saying it as an outside fan, But, like, it's kind of hard at that time, to not view it like that, though, when, in some degree, the business, at the same sense, kind of presented it like that.
Yeah.
Not all so that's what it is.
No, you're fucking, no, you're
It was a different era.
Right.
It was
you're
a different
absolutely
era.
right.
It was a different era. At
no,
that
you're
time,
fucking absolutely right, man.
At that time, the women, what's it called? Because in the end, and I'm gonna go back into mad history and stuff like that. Pro wrestling was originally a carny act anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And at that time, what's it called? Later on, at that time, women's pro wrestling was still in that era. You know what? It's the carny act trick.
Right.
It's like I said, we're losing a bit of ratings. We need to pick the ratings back up. We'll bring on some ass and titties to get the guys involved and stuff like that. Okay, now we get the ratings back up again. We don't need the ass and titties no more. And later, I'm gonna tell you later on, Medusa and all the rest of it.
No, and I'm going to tell you right now, even as a worker, I full-heartedly agree with that. Just because I think that in wrestling, everybody should be respectful. Everybody should be respected, whether they're a woman or a man. And yes, I mean there are some wrestlers, there are some bookers that will do that whole. Yeah, we're just gonna, we're gonna send the girls out there and they can just roll around and all the guys, all the virgins and all the guys will just get a hard on, so that'll boost our ratings. Sex sells.
Yeah.
And that's not just wrestling. They do it in they sell it everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Think about it, and it's not just wrestling.
No, they do it in fucking video games, for Christ's sake.
And I'm guilty for getting stuck into that gimmick. So. But hey, what can I say? I have a
Nigga,
penis.
you a red blood male. That's like
Yes. Okay, well, we went way off topic.
Let's get. Yeah.
Well, let me rope you guys back into this.
Okay.
The last match of the night for the NXT TakeOver 2 was Nakamura versus Joe.
Fuck, man. You want to talk
that
about...
was vicious.
You want to talk about storytelling at its finest? That was a story.
Those bastards hit each other hard.
They were... Dude, it was... They laid everything on the line.
But I expect nothing less from Nakamura.
Or even Joe.
Yeah.
You know, ever since Joe broke into TNA, after when we were starting to watch Joe.
Well,
right.
Gus and I, you know, we saw him at up in Chicago Ridge with ROH.
Yeah.
This is like right when he started working with TNA.
Yeah.
Him and AJ and Christopher Daniels.
Yeah.
They fucking had like a triple threat match for the Division X title.
Yeah.
It was like 25 minutes, dude. And actually, that night, the fucking final match was Bryan Danielson versus fucking Lance Storm.
Oh, man, that must have been great.
That match was sick, too, man.
Yeah, dude.
You know, like, that night...
That was my favorite weekend of wrestling ever.
Yeah, I was going to say, that night, I couldn't remember a single boring match, man.
No, that match was sick.
That's exactly what this whole NXT TakeOver pay-per-view was. None of the matches to me were boring.
No.
They all went in there, they told stories, the crowd fucking loved it.
Yeah.
The crowd ate it up. You know, it's a win-win. If you got that crowd fucking wrapped around your finger and you play that crowd, to me that's a big win. Right. But like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of marked out when they had Shinsuke do his own custom stuff with the violin and shit.
That was sick, dude.
I fucking love that.
That was sick, dude.
I love that.
So they had like this guy. I think he's from the area. He's a violin player. So he starts playing Shinsuke's theme song, and like it's just him, nothing else.
Yeah.
Just starts playing it, and it's fucking like you're like, oh fuck yeah, let's do this,
dude. Shinsuke Nakamura's fucking theme song gets me hyped.
Is it the same theme song?
It's called he calls it. They call it the Rising Sun.
Well, no, I was gonna ask. Is the same theme song that he used in New Japan?
I don't know. I don't think it is.
No, because I don't think he can.
But man, I'll tell you what, man. There's very few theme songs that can get me goosebumpy. Shinsuke Nakamura's, for some fucking reason, does. You want to talk about?
Like, y'all both looking it up, aren't you?
No.
I'm gonna try to find because I'm gonna have you plug your earbuds in.
Oh yeah. So no, wait. Here, I could pull it up real quick because I know I got it saved on my YouTube account because I'm such a fucking mark for this guy.
Yeah, okay.
I love it. Like, I mean, honestly, dude. I mean, that's the thing about Shinsuke. Like, I knew nothing about Shinsuke. I didn't hear anything about him up until he came into NXT. And then right there, I fell in love with the guy.
Yeah.
I love everything about it. You got it? Yeah, it's fucking... Yeah, I guess Buddha's got it already. So
yeah.
I guess we'll let Sidewayzzz listen to that song, and then me and Buddha will go ahead and continue to...
I'm going to put in both buds. What am I doing?
You should. You should.
Enjoy that. Alright, stop burping, goddammit.
Dude, that's my trademark. I have to do it.
Not so much.
Oh, I shouldn't do it anymore?
Wow. Well, the one episode we listened to was Burptastic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Isn't it fucking sick, dude?
Yeah.
I can't play it because of copyright over it, but go look it up.
Man. Shit.
See what I'm saying with that dude? That violin is fucking.
Dude, everything about it is fucking just epic.
If you want to look up Nothing But Strings, they were a hip hop group that fucking played violin.
Wait,
Nothing But Strings.
I didn't hear you. Oh, Nothing But Strings.
Have you heard of them?
I heard like a couple of tracks. I think I might actually have like one or two songs.
They're fucking sick,
on my
dude.
laptop still from them.
That's what they reminded me of at first. Like,
yeah,
oh shit, it's one of the guys from Nothing But Strings.
But yeah, the match all around was just great. It was a good pace match, man. And then
and it's fucking sick,
he's
dude.
just fucking gone.
I'm feeling this, man.
I'm telling you, man, you can fucking work out to that song.
Yeah, I can actually. There's not much. I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, there's some pro wrestler entry songs that I like, but there's not many that actually pump me up.
You know another one that actually kind of gets me going too? Finn Balor.
Oh, Finn Balor. Finn Balor. Yeah, that's a good one too.
I mean, this guy has little corny moments in it, but
but he gets the fun crowd into it when he starts doing
exactly.
I don't know much about them guys' theme songs, but
Finn Balor's.
I was only about to go into like basically the theme songs from the period I was watching wrestling.
Oh, okay.
And then like I know a lot of the theme songs from like Japan, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why I was even asking.
Oh no,
but honestly, it's similar to the one he was using. You
should have had him listen to fucking Bobby Roode's.
Let me see if I
That
can
one
find
is
it.
epic.
No, because what's it called? Like during the time I was watching wrestling, there was only really, and I still listen to it every now and then. There was only one theme song that actually fucking was like